Hello, my name is Ian Peebles, and this is my final for the learning community in the Russ College of Engineering and Technology. My topic today is going to be on how does auto-tune work. So auto-tune, if you do not know, is a piece of software that can artificially manipulate various tones and sounds that come into it. This is often used by musicians, rappers, just whoever else really wants to make music. And autotune can be used for some small things, just like pitch correction, which I'll talk about later, or just distorting tones, creating harmonies, and even just like creating really weird sounds that you wouldn't normally be able to create. And yeah, so before I get into autotune itself, I do need to talk about a few things. Primarily, the thing I need to talk about is pitch. So what is pitch? Pitch is how high or low something sounds when you hear it. So for example, something with a very high pitch would be if I were to sing like, well, that's not very high, but you get the point. If I were to sing something low, that would have a low pitch. It would be and if I were to go from a lower pitch to a higher pitch, or a higher pitch to a lower pitch, I can do that just on my own. However, so you might be wondering, where does autotune fit into that? So the way autotune works is it fixes the intonation of the sound. The intonation being like if you are just slightly too high of a pitch or slightly too low of a pitch for the sound to be pristine. Basically, every note that you hear on like a piano or trumpet or whatever else, it has a certain amount of hertz, and that amount of hertz delegates what sound you hear. So for an example, if you played something with 440 hertz, that would be considered an A. So where does autotune fit in is basically if, let's say you're playing a trumpet and you're trying to play an A and you play something with 445 hertz instead of 440. You can use autotune then to lower the hertz by 5 and get that perfect sound that you want. So, on that note, autotune works by changing just how the sound coming in, it changes the sound coming in to what you want to hear coming out by either raising the pitch, lowering the pitch, or just doing crazy things to the pitch. Earlier, when I was talking about making those crazy sounds that you wouldn't normally hear through autotune, that is, through the pitch, you can either create waves with it, which would be considered vibrato, something like that, or you can just, like, if you ever hear most pop music nowadays has weird, like, vocal rips, where it just goes really high or something that you definitely can tell that the singer wouldn't be able to do normally. That is through autotune. And you can also, if you are one person, you can create a harmony with yourself through music. You'll hear this a lot, once again, in modern music. But to do this through autotune is you create a sound, if I were to go just with an A normally, and then I wanted to harmonize that with, let's say, a C, which is another note, then I would take the sound from the A and change the hertz so that it's a C, and then play the two simultaneously, and that would give me my harmony. So autotune can be a very useful tool in that sense, and it's just handy if you're going to try making music or do make music or whatever. And it's also very helpful to know if you ever are really interested in music, just how it works and how to use it. So this was, once again, my name is Ian Peebles. This was my final project for the learning community.